Council meeting of November 2nd, 2021 is called to order at 6:01 p.m. Councilmember Schmidt, would you please lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Donna, will you call the roll, please?
Yes, I will. And I just see Mayor Dorsey is joining us.
Wonderful.
That will help your voice. Councilmember McDowell.
Present.
Councilmember Bode.
Here.
Councilmember Schmidt.
Here.
Hit that button. There we go.
Mayor Dorsey, just in time for roll call.
All right, let's do it.
Are you present, Mayor Dorsey?
I'm here.
Councilmember Inesco.
Here.
Councilmember Feast.
Here.
And Deputy Mayor Peterson.
Here.
Thank you.
All right. Did you guys already do your pledge? Okay. All right, at this time, I would like to remind members of the public that they can make comments during the public comment period, as well as any item listed on the business agenda or action agenda. When making a public comment, you will need to raise your hand electronically on the Zoom app, state your full name and whether you reside in the city limits, Mason County, or elsewhere. Option number is join the Zoom meeting by clicking on the link that is displayed on the city's webpage. The link is listed on the agendas and minutes page under the tab that says more. Option number 2 is to email City Manager Jeff Knighton. And option number 3 is to call Jeff Knighton's office phone. Both the email address and phone number are displayed on the screen of Mason Web TV streaming video.
Mayor Dorsey,
Yes.
Mayor Dorsey, before we move on, we've missed the late changes to the agenda.
Okay. Sorry about that. Do we have any late changes? Okay. Thank you. Any board reports to give for the council members? Okay. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda as published?
I move that we accept the consent agenda as published.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda as published. All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed? Motion carries. Okay, Donna, we'll move on to the public comment period. Do we have anybody interested in making a public comment?
Let me take a look here, Mayor Dorsey. I don't see anyone with their hand raised electronically or otherwise, so we don't have any general public comments.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm pissed.
What was that? Somebody have a comment? No?
I think that was Dean Jewett. Dean, are you wanting to make a public comment?
Yes, I was. I was trying to raise my hand, but I was perplexed.
Oh, we can hear
Okay.
you.
Go ahead,
So you
Dean.
heard, I didn't
did.
curse. Dean Jewett, Mason County resident. I just wanted to have some concerns heard. I know that they're not going to be answered, but I want everybody to understand them. And I'm sure that everybody's aware of the situation that we have going downtown. We have increased crime, tagging, vagrancy, panhandling, nude, illicit acts. I understand that we're passing, or hopefully passing, a no camping in town. I guess an issue that I have with that is, a city of Shelton employee has to contact that individual, and then there's a certain series of events that have to happen. I guess I would like to reach out and find out what is that series of events? Who is that employee? Are we talking a police officer? Or are we talking another employee of the city? And I'm sure that you guys are all aware. I mean, you monitor Shelton Talks. I mean, we're just having, we have people having sex in public on the gazebo. There's multiple businesses that have a bird's eye view of the post office park and what goes on there. There's clothes left all over town. There's food left all over town. There's bike parts. We're blocking sidewalks. There's other cities that have our same demographic, our same population base, and they don't seem to have some of these problems. And I've actually brought those up in the past. Where's the field trips so that we can take some of those tools and what they use and bring those to Shelton? I'm wondering, I mean, do the local businesses have to form a coalition and get legal guidance and assistance in which to get things to happen? I know there's certain council people that want to table conversations and have more conversations regarding this. As far as I'm concerned, I think a lot of businesses owners are concerned. We're tired of the talk. It's time for action. We have increased crime. Whatever happened to being proactive? If you guys take a look at the council mission statement, it talks about proactivity. I don't see that. I see reactive, but then even on the reactive side of it, nothing changes. If you keep doing what you've always done, you're going to keep getting what you've always got. And that's what we're doing. And it's getting worse. There's maybe, I don't know. I mean, I know there's certain individuals that live downtown, other ones don't. I mean, do you guys see this on a daily basis? We have sin taxes, sugar taxes, gas taxes. So, I mean, maybe we pass something that's maybe we have an enabling tax. So if there's groups that are enabling this type of behavior, let's tax them. We can use that money to help support the businesses that are a positive influence to the community. So, I mean, that's pretty much it. And that's what I have. Hopefully I didn't offend anybody. Thank you for your time.
That was perfectly timed. That was just 3 minutes on the dot.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Mayor, that is it for now.
All right. I'd like to, I know we're not supposed to go back and forth, and we're not going to go back and forth, but I would direct Mr. Jewett to contact Jeff Knighton about the questions he had. All right. City Engineer Ken Gill has information for us about a project administration agreement for 2 city projects.
Good evening, council. It's good to see us snug in your homes on this spooky night after Halloween. So we had nothing scary tonight. We're just moving some projects forward. So you should see on your screen a air photo that shows a couple of projects I'm going to talk about tonight. Shelton was blessed in July to be awarded just shy of $750,000 for some pedestrian improvements. You want to make sure and thank Robert Heron with the Shelton School District. He helped me pitch that along with residents Mark Brooks and Mason County resident Charlotte Claybrook. So they both work with WashDOT and manage the Safe Routes to Schools program. So the Safe Routes to Schools program consists of 3 projects, and they're all flashy beacons, similar to the ones that are downtown at 6th and Railroad. So they're shown here by the blue squares. One's up by on Shelton Springs Road on the Huff and Puff, connects the Huff and Puff track to the high school. And really important for those parents that are doing a pickup in the gravel parking lot there by the Huff and Puff. The other one is down by Safeway at 7th and Franklin for students that are walking from our choice high schools and Evergreen Elementary schools there. And then the third one is real close by. It's on 9th and Railroad, but it's a direct connection that lines up straight up if you're walking right into Evergreen Elementary. So the last project that I want to talk about is shown in a red line on that same drawing, and it's overlaying Brockdale Road between Wallace and Neyland and Bastogne Cutoff Road. So to move both of these projects along, one has state funding, one has federal funding. WashDOT has asked that we do a project administration agreement. And what that is just some 14 check-in points with our funding partners that make sure that we're doing what we're required to do to keep our funding. So I don't have anything else to present on this topic tonight, and I'm open for any questions. But I recommend that you place both these resolutions on the November 16th council action agenda. I'm happy to answer any questions you have about any of it, or I can move on to the next topic.
All right, let's hold on a minute. Ken, is there any public comment, Donna?
Take a look here. No public comment, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, do we have a motion, please?
I move to place resolution number 1216-1021 and resolution number 1217-1021 on the action agenda for the November 16th, 2021 City Council meeting for further discussion.
Second.
All right, thank you. We have a motion and a second to place resolution number 1216-1021 and resolution number 1217-1021 on the action agenda for November 16th council meeting for further consideration. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. We have one more business item from Ken. All right, Ken.
Okay, this next one is a Civic Center parking lot. Turning the gravel lot outside City Hall from mud puddles to permeable pavers. So I'm really excited about it. Backing up in time, thank Mark Ziegler for getting a grant for just shy of 300 grand from the Department of Commerce. We went through a couple of iterations on design, and Brooke did a good job detailing them in your briefing. But I'm just going to jump ahead to present day, and backing up just a couple months. In August, we met with you and said, "Hey, what do you want it to look like?" And the consensus was, let's do some permeable pavers, similar what's in the between the United Way and the CenturyLink building off of Railroad Avenue. So since then, we've met with their staff. Asked them if they had any maintenance issues, long-term maintenance issues. That was one of the concerns that council brought up. They haven't had any maintenance issues with it. So then they love it. So we went back with our consultant and asked them for a scope and fee to complete the design. And this is what's in front of you. It's just shy of 40 grand, but this gets the design done, gets us out to bid after the New Year's, and then gets us under construction late spring, early summer. So the just to kind of refresh your memories, I wanted to share with you guys a kind of the figure that we shared previously. Just so we all know what we're talking about. And I should have done that at the start of my presentation, but this red line drawing from Director Harris is what we shared with you on August 24th. This is same thing we're doing, moving ahead. You end up with lots of parking, lots of landscaping, 4 basketball hoops, and some pickleball courts. So I'm excited about it, and happy to answer any questions that you have. But I recommend that you move on your action agenda to your next council meeting. Councilmember Peterson, I see your hand up.
Yeah, I just had one question. My recollection of our much earlier conversations had the basketball court at the opposite end nearest the Civic Center. And my understanding was that was due to the fact that our hope was to expand onto that city property that house is on now. So that whole section could be used for events and whatnot. When was the decision made to move it down to 4th? And do we have any concerns about how that's going to interplay with the long-term project itself?
I need to get back to you on that. I think I don't remember when it was closer to a city hall, so it may have been before my time, Councilmember Peters. I don't know.
Very possible.
Let me get back to you on that. So
I appreciate it, and super glad to see so many more parking spaces put in. I think it's well worth going with that design for a number of reasons. So thanks for your work, and I do look forward to hearing what you find out about the location of the courts.
okay.
All right. Thank you, Deidre. Megan, did you have something?
Yeah, hey Ken, in the consideration for this plan, we had also talked about possibility to, put some anchors down for maybe future event space. So is that still a consideration as well?
So we spent a little bit of time that with the director Ziegler. And we researched some anchors, and we couldn't find one that we didn't think would break really easy. So they end up being, you'd go to use them, be broken, someone drives over or something like that. So we've moved on to permeable pavers, and I'm not sure that I quite have a solution for you right now to present, but I'm still looking for you. But my best solution right now is that when we have an event, I'm trotting out there with rebar stuck in 5-gallon buckets.
Are you our sandbag guy?
Yeah. So, but let us continue to research that through the design and get back you on that. So, but I remember you asking me about that, and I haven't come up with a great solution
it
yet.
was Council Member Peterson actually that asked it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mhm.
All right. Anyone else? If not, we'll look for, do we have any public comment, Donna?
Let me take a look here. We don't, Mr. Mayor, and I want to mention that both this project and the one that Ken talked about earlier are business item number 1. He had 2 together, which is unusual. So Ken will have 1 more for you all when we're finished with this one.
All right,
Can I say something, Kevin?
sure.
I had some technical difficulties, so I just got back on. So I missed Ken's presentation, but I saw it earlier today. We as a Lions Club with the city is very excited about this project. And it's coming, and it's going to be great to have it in the city. So I just say thanks, Ken, for all your work writing this up and planning it and all that good stuff. I appreciate it.
All right.
Welcome.
Mayor Dorsey, if I may, just one more thing. I mentioned at a previous conversation, but Ken, is there a possibility of looking at concrete instead of asphalt for the basketball court? And the reason I ask is twofold. One is obviously it doesn't get nearly as hot and reflecting back out, but the other piece of that being more consistent with some of our downtown features and the ability to maybe color match in with the pavers. I don't need an answer to that now, but I just wanted to put it out while I'm thinking about it and make sure that you have that bit.
Sure, I can answer that one. The basketball court has never been anything but concrete. So I know that for sure. The parking spots are all, and the entrance into it, the alley is all planned to be permeable pavers, and the basketball court will be concrete.
Thank you.
That's the way I remember it.
Yeah.
All right. Can I have a motion, please?
I move to place resolution number 1218-1021 on the action agenda on November 16th council meeting for further consideration.
I'll second it.
Right. We've already asked our questions, right? So we have a motion and a second to place resolution number 1218-1021, action agenda of the November 16th council meeting for further discussion, consideration. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Mayor, can I interrupt you one more time?
Yes.
Ignore what I said earlier because I was completely wrong. You're
Okay.
right on track, Mr. Mayor. We're on to the action agenda. I
Okay.
apologize.
Yeah, well, that's okay. I was a little confused, but that's all right.
Thank you.
All right, we'll move on to our action agenda. Our first action item is an ordinance regarding homeless encampments. City Manager Jeff Knighton has information for us.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor, Deputy Mayor, members of council. Donna was understood where Donna was coming from because I've been doing the same thing for about 2 weeks. I think I finally got it right. But on the action agenda tonight, you have ordinance number 1977-0921, and that is an ordinance that we, as staff members here at the city, have developed in order to address issues within the city regarding public camping. And nothing has changed on this ordinance since the first time the council reviewed it on October 19th. Did want to make clear that if there is no jail space and if there is no shelter space, then none of the actions outlined under this ordinance can take effect. And I also wanted to answer a couple questions that were brought up earlier this evening during general public comment. The first of which is which public employees would be contacting these individuals. The answer to that is it's just a public employee. Typically, it will be a police officer, but it does not have to be. In the original version of this ordinance, it was specifically stated that it would be a police officer, but we changed that at council's direction to be any city employee make contact. And that could be code enforcement, police, some of our public works crews, not that they would take any enforcement action, but hey, there's public camping is prohibited. We have shelter space available for you, those types of things. There are resources available for you. The second one is the series of events leading up to any action taken. And those are outlined in the document as well. The first is contact, letting folks know that resources are available. Second is, the first is contact is, camping on public property is prohibited. Second is there are resources available. Third is transportation to those resources if they are available, shelter space and the like, before any type of enforcement action would be taken. So with that, and as I mentioned a little bit earlier, no changes have been made since council first saw this several weeks ago. I'm happy to answer any questions.
All right. Thank you. Donna, do we have public comment?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, there is someone named Julianne. I'm not sure of her last name, but she would like to make a public comment. So Julianne, if you'll unmute yourself, you have 3 minutes. And could you state your full name, please?
My name is Julianne Gale. I live outside the boundaries of the city of Shelton, but I live in Shelton. And I speak as someone who has been homeless twice in the last 5 years in Mason County, not because I didn't have income, not because I didn't have good credit, but because I literally couldn't find any housing in my budget. And I think it's very dangerous if we start criminalizing poverty and homelessness. That doesn't help anyone get off the streets. It's much harder to get a job. It is much harder to find housing if you have a criminal record. It's much harder to afford any kind of support for yourself if you have to pay a fine. And also, as someone who used to work with homeless youth, I can tell you that shelters are not always safe options for youth or for people in general. And so I just urge you to reconsider another option that actually addresses the root causes of what causes homelessness in the first place, so that we're not punishing the people who are already the most down and out. Thank you all for your time and consideration.
Thank you, Julianne. Anyone else, Donna?
Let me take a look here. No one else, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. Can you give me a second reading of ordinance number 1977-0921?
Ordinance number 1977-0921, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Shelton, Washington, enacting a new chapter 8.74 of the Shelton Municipal Code relating to public camping and homeless encampments.
All right, thank you. Eric, do you have your hand up? But let me ask for a motion first. Do we have a motion here?
I move we adopt ordinance number 1977-0921 as presented.
Second.
Did I hear a second? Okay. All right. So I'd like to invite the council members to ask questions or make comments, and I see Eric has his hand up.
You're muted, Eric.
Sorry about that. Again, I'd like to express my concern that we are just jumping the gun on this ordinance. I think it's an empty threat. At the end result, there's nowhere to take them if they are in violation. And I think that we all are begging for a solution to homelessness, and we're also begging for a solution to the problems downtown. This camping ordinance will not address anything that happens during the day downtown at all. So I really think we should rethink this and put a panel together of leaders and stakeholders and nonprofits and citizens and find a better way to handle this. I think that it's just too soon. We have so many more things that we could have dealt with in the beginning with some derelict properties, junk cars, garbage in their yards. And we jumped right to criminalizing homelessness, which I believe is a gray area. I am not an attorney. I think it's very gray. And I think that we're going to get ourselves in more trouble than it's worth by doing this. And also I agree with our guest, Julian, I believe, that said these people get these tickets and these fines, and it's not going to help them get a place down the road. So I really would like the council to reconsider putting a panel together of everybody who we can get involved and find a solution. And the first solution would be the mental illness and addiction. There's lots of services for those. I think we should go out and try to help people get those services before we start writing them tickets. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Eric. James?
I'm definitely excited that this is a first step. I don't think it's a solution to homelessness by any means, but it's us starting to enact some rules and guidelines for people to follow. And by no means do I feel like we are criminalizing the act of being homeless. We're not going out and checking that if you don't own a home or rent a home, that we're going to fine you for these things. We're designating areas you're not allowed to camp. So we're literally just setting up some rules. And if they follow those rules, they'll never see that ticket. So it's a very easy solution for them. Don't camp in these places. And if someone asks you to move or offers you to go to a shelter that's available or gives you a different resource, then take it. And then you won't have a problem. But I would love to jump behind the panel that Eric wants to do, and I would love to move this forward. I think addressing the root of it is definitely important, but we also have to have rules and guidelines.
All right, thank you, James. Anyone else have a comment here? Okay. We have a motion and a second to adopt ordinance number.
Mr. Mayor.
Oh, Megan, I'm sorry.
I highly suggest that we do come up with a task force, and we do, like James said, have to start somewhere. And if we are going to eventually develop a home fund to be able to fund mitigation sites and be able to better wrap around services and create a space where people can, again, we can have an economic driver and help these folks get directly connected to employment, because that's the pathway to hope, is to make sure that folks have a mitigated home site and that they are attached to employment and education. We have to start somewhere. And this is the first step to allow us as a council to be able to move forward. And I think that a lot of the folks on here understand that. And I think that alongside us, we can make progress and create. You know what? I agree with Mr. Jewett. I think there's a heck of a lot of great best practices out there. And I think that we can do some, traveling around and see what's going to work for our community. And I hope that folks like Dean and other members of our community come together and help us put this mitigation site together.
Thank you. Anyone else? All right. We have a motion and a second to adopt ordinance number 1977-0921 as presented. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
No.
No,
We got 2 opposed. So it's 5-2, motion carries. Thank you, everybody. All right, let's move on. We have another item from Jeff, a prosecution services contract.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor, Deputy Mayor, members of council. Tonight we have the prosecution services agreement with Coker and Younglove LLC to serve as our prosecutor in the municipal court. The contract has not changed since you saw the original version on, what was it, October 19th? And I'd be happy to answer any questions if you have any.
All right, do we have public comment, Donna?
Let me look here. No, we don't, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. Do we have a motion, please?
I move that we approve the agreement for prosecution services as presented.
Second.
All right, thank you, Joe. Like this time, we'll invite each council member to ask questions, if any. Okay, thank you. We have a motion and a second to approve the agreement for prosecution services as presented. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I,
All opposed? Motion carries. Excuse me. Our last action item is the cancellation of WSP's Latecomers agreement. Jeff has the details.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor, Deputy Mayor, members of council, and members of the public. So the item tonight, as council knows, we've been working on for nearly 3 years, 2.5. We were able to get this accomplished with the help of our legislative delegation, Senator Sheldon, Representative McEwen, and Representative Griffey, and really appreciate their support on moving this project forward. And representatives from the Washington State Patrol have already signed this mechanism that will transfer the monies intended to fulfill the Latecomers agreement obligation. Nothing has changed since the last time you saw this item on October 19th, and I'd be happy to answer questions if you have any.
All right, thank you. Do we have any public comment?
No, we don't, Mr. Mayor.
All right, thank you. Do we have a motion, please?
I move that we approve this agreement as presented.
Second.
Any council members with questions or comments for Jeff? I see Eric has his hand up.
I again just wanted to echo Jeff's comments and thank Troy Nichols, Drew McEwen, Dan Griffey, staff. This has been a long time coming. I think in the 3 years I've been here, we've tried all 3 years, and this is the third time was a charm. This is going to be huge for development, and just thank everybody.
Yeah, thank you, Eric. This is definitely a big step toward future development. Anyone else? Thank you. All right, we have a motion and a second to approve the agreement as presented. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
I,
Aye.
All opposed? I don't think so. Thank you. Motion carries. All right, so next, we'll have Jeff give his city manager report.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Deputy Mayor, members of council. A couple things to mention. First, The audiovisual equipment that council approved for purchase at several meetings ago is being installed this week. So that's fantastic. There's quite a lot of work going on downstairs, and it will make our municipal court, prosecution, public defense, everything else much more efficient. And I also wanted to highlight the grant that Judge Greer worked extremely hard on for the therapeutic court that will also go into effect. Judge Greer and his team downstairs in the municipal court, including Diane, did a lot of work to get that done, and we're very happy to see that be successful. Halloween events, had a great time. There were quite a few of them. The trunk or treat at Mason General was a huge success. The spectacular downtown with the Chamber of Commerce and the downtown business partners did a lot of work on that, and that turned out really well. The YMCA's on Saturday was great, and I think that a big hit was the haunted trail up at the Huff and Puff. People had a great time doing that, and I saw some pictures. I get scared easily, so I didn't go, but I saw some great pictures, and it looked like a lot of fun. So very happy about that. We swore in our newest member of the Shelton Police Department yesterday, and he joined, and the mayor performed the swearing-in ceremony. We have a video of that on our YouTube channel, and there are social media posts about it as well. So we're very pleased to welcome a new police officer to the city of Shelton. And lastly, not quite last, but second to last, the comment period for the Shelton C Street landfill cleanup action plan is scheduled to open on November 4th. We'll be sharing all those details on our social media, but I wanted to mention it here tonight as well. And will be open November 4th through December 7th, if anybody would like to comment on that ecology action plan. Lastly, you're looking ahead for the next several meetings. First, we have your study session next Tuesday, a week from today. And at that study session, we'll be talking about our legislative priorities for this upcoming legislative session with Troy Nichols, our lobbyist in Olympia, our partner in Olympia. And you'll get some background on the NPDES, the National Pollution Discharge Elimination System. That's a fancy way of saying the phase 2 permit that we just started, the council implemented not too long ago. So there's an outreach and education component that goes along with that, and you'll get some background to go with it. And with that, on the 16th, we'll be starting a little bit early with an executive session at 5 o'clock that evening. And then we will have the Shelton Municipal Parks District meeting at 5:45. And then at 6 on your regular council meeting, some exciting news for people like me and Jay and Ken, I'm sure, but we'll be talking about purchasing of the water meter boxes and lids for the new AMI project, and a couple other things on there. The budget supplemental number 2, which is really intended to enhance the transparency of our financial reporting systems, keep money in the right place so we don't spend it on things we ought not to. We've got all that straightened out, and happy to continue that work. And then you'll hear some action agenda items, the items you heard tonight, along with your second meeting to take a look at the 2022 budget. And with that, happy to answer any questions.
Okay, I don't see any right off the hand here. Thank you, Jeff. Does the council have any items for discussion? Seeing none there. Our next council meeting will be on Tuesday, November 16th, 2021 at 6 o'clock. We also have a study session on November 9th at 6 o'clock. All right, this meeting is adjourned at, what time is it? 6:40.